everybody, welcome into Rock Painting 101. If you are catching this replay, I have a couple things I'm going to do here as I start my live to refresh my screen and drop a comment. So go ahead and pan forward probably about 10-15 seconds if you're catching this replay. Otherwise, just kind of do a couple things here while we have a couple people pop in. If you're here and it says live in the upper left hand corner, let me know where you are watching from. I always like to see how far we stretch. Okay, I just want to start sharing the live into our rock painting group while it's live. So there we go. Didn't take too long there. So I went ahead and just dropped in the comments the supplies. Sometimes when I put them in the post, it really stifles the reach of the video. So we're gonna do just this really fun word rock. I said one line word just because we're gonna take and you can wrap around and create this full rock coverage with one line. Obviously you can pick up and down your pen while you're working. I'm gonna do one on this rock in a slightly different design. We're gonna do some flowers. I'm gonna do the word in green and we're gonna do some flowers on top, and then I'll come back through and show you a really clever little trick for if you wanna do a double line, how to know what the overs and unders are. So we will add a second line to this one, and we can do it kind of as a heart. And that one is all one line as well. So lots of fun to do. And we are going to get started. So I see you guys all popping in. I'll try to watch comments as I usually do while I'm live. However, I will come back through and read. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them at any time. If I don't address them in the video, I'll definitely come back and do it in the comments afterwards. So I'm gonna do this one with green. So just make sure that your pen's flowing really nicely. And you're actually going to start on the bottom of your rock. And like I said, it says one line because it will look cohesive as one line, but you're going to pick up your pen. Maybe you could do this all as one line, but just to give myself room for error, I will pick up my pen from time to time. So this rock, we're going to make the word grow on, and we're actually going to add some fun flowers to it. So go back into your memory bank of cursive, and a lot of us, I'm gonna just do a little bit more fancy of a cursive. So grow. And sometimes I'll actually pick up and do the letters and then attach them after. Okay, just like that. And our top will wrap up and around in that direction. I'm actually going to lift up and pull around here, just like that. And then you can decide where you want this one to start. And so that's why sometimes I kind of let myself come back and decide after the fact. And I think I'm gonna actually have this one come up like that. Now we're gonna come in and add these cute little pink flowers on this one, all along this. We are gonna expand some of our letters or thicken up some of our letters. I do want this first layer to dry a little bit so we're not moving and budging around the other parts of this. So let's actually go through and add on some of our flowers while this is drying. And we're just gonna do cute little simple flowers, just little like little rose buds, I guess you could say, just around, and then we'll come back and add some stems after the fact, maybe in these little clusters of 3 or so. And then I need to do either a lighter green inside of this letter instead of white. I think I want a light green, so I might have to grab one of those. And along the bottom as well. We can always come back and add more to this. Something cute you can can work on while that first layer is drying. Okay, so now we're going to come back through and we're going to thicken up some of our letters. The rule of thumb to think about is the downward lines usually tend to get a little bit thicker. So you also have to keep in mind sometimes you're going to come up and then back down, and be careful not to smudge your flowers like I just about did. And then this is upwards, so we'll just go right along there. There we go. So down. Even that little loop is going to be a little thicker on the downward stroke there. Now here's something you can kind of watch. So like right now, if I would go off to the left hand side on this W, I'd probably end up hitting my O. So it's okay to kind of lean it to the, or add it to the left or to the right. So you can kind of go to the right a little bit there just to try to keep that space. So it doesn't always have to be off to the left hand side. You can kind of just, oops, that wasn't supposed to be thick. My bad. So I get talking. It's okay. It'll still look okay. Okay. All right, so that, give that a second. It almost looks kind of shiny in the camera here. Okay. I'll probably go over this other line here on the outside here one more time. Just because it's a darker rock, it will make that color a little brighter. And we can also add little stems to our flowers. I'm gonna pull that to either side. And then you'll also kind of be able to tell like where you might want another flower. Oh, looks so cute. All right, and then we'll go up here along this line as well. Try not to touch any of my lines here. Alright, so definitely going to come back and do some more pink on that, pink flowers. And let's do, I think I'm going to do one more here on the bottom just to kind of complete this little section here. I kind of did them on every other side except for there at the end, right there in the middle. And then I kind of want one at the tip of both of these so that the green doesn't just end. Okay, so we got one stem to add here real quick. If I don't do it now, I might forget. There we go. Okay, so I am going to show you now. So if you are going to add, I don't know if I want to add a second line to this one or not. I kind of like it like that. If I do, I want to use a light green, and I don't happen to have one handy by me. So I am going to show you the adding a second line here and this quick little trick to help you know the over-under kind of ratio, like how do you define which lines stay on top as opposed to kind of being tucked underneath. So we've got these two that I added the second line to. So I've got white here. Make sure you're flowing really nicely. Now the trick is to actually go over it backwards. So you're going to follow your cursive backwards. So we're going to start here at the tip. Obviously take your time, moving quicker here. Make sure I'm not putting it for you. So when you get to your letters, follow them around backwards. So when you meet your line, pick up and go underneath. Let's see here. Now I got to think about this part. So if we went up, down, back up and over. So yes, it would be down. And the reason why this works is because if you're going the regular way, so if you were writing, this top line would end up on top. So, and then it comes back this way. So, boom. And boom. Just like that. Isn't that cool? So I hope that that is a little trick that can kind of help you out as far as doing your lettering. Some letters are harder than other, like that P and that H is a little trickier. As you can see here, there isn't quite as many conjunctions where you actually hit the same spot on some letters, like almost 3 times when you're writing them, correct? So I'm gonna go back and forth. What do you guys think? You think I should add a light green line to this one or leave it as it is? Most of you guys, I think 90-something% of people that commented said, yes, let's go add in our extra line on here. So if you did not catch yesterday's live, you can watch it after the fact. I'm just gonna go in with a light green and add a small line along with the word grow to kind of help it pop off the rock a little bit more. So if you didn't watch that one, you can watch it after this. I can come back later when I'm done being live and I'll add the link in the comments or in the description above. So just make sure your pen is flowing. And like I was talking about yesterday, to get your lines, so here's an example, to get your lines to overlap properly, you actually will do your cursive backwards, because that will create the layering properly. Because if you were to write this E, the swoop would be on top, but if you're writing the normal direction, sometimes it's hard to do that. And so if you do it backwards, it does just kind of help a little bit. So I'm going to start right here, and we are going to add this green line to our girl. Anytime it overlaps, you can go under. And this is all we're going to do today, is create this line on here. But I asked yesterday whether you thought I should add it, and it was an overwhelming yes to that. Let's see here, so if you go boom, boom, so. Okay. Just really makes that pop off the rock just a little bit more. So I kind of got a couple wobbly lines here. Your hands are shaking a little bit. So I can touch those up just a smidge if I need to. But other than that, I don't know if I want to add it on the outside. Maybe I will. So I'm just going to follow along each of my stems and go out. And then I'll pick back up, go out. So if you give this tutorial a try, come back and share. I feel like I got something. I have maybe some lotion on my hands or something. You see that? It's almost like an oil where my pen doesn't want to stick. You can see the dot. I gotta be careful. Let that dry all the way. And come back and redo that spot. So same thing up here. So they can add these stems. So it gives me a little spot where I can pick up my pen too, so I don't have to try to have a really long continuous line. There we go. And that's done. There we go. I think that light green really does make it jump off the rock a bit more, because this was a darker stone. If it was a lighter stone, I don't know if it would have needed it, but that really does make it stand out quite a bit more. We'll see you all soon with another rock painting tutorial for beginners. Bye-bye.